What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $2,376 in the first hour of trading. Kind of an up and down morning, actually. I was up almost 600 bucks, then gave it all back, went red, and then very green. So, a good way to start the year, being green for sure. But let's go over the trades and show you what I played. So there was a lot of trades this morning, and this first one was kind of one of my bread and butter trades, to be honest. Um, it's just a pop pullback candle over candle, and if you've been with me for a while, you know what I'm talking about when I say that, and I say it quite often. But basically, I'm not looking to chase stocks typically. I want to wait for them to make a move, pull back, and then I want to play that secondary move. And the opening of the stock market is a great time to do that. Tesla today was in play. They had a big upgrade. Um, I said, you'll hear in the video I said Bard, but it was actually Canaccord. I think they raised the price target from 375 to 515. So it was gapping up this morning. Also, the daily candle over candle, you can kind of see, let's get rid of this right here. It happened today, so that puts it in play. And just being kind of the new year as well, continuation off the Santa rally, typically if there's a big Santa rally like there was, in 2019 at the end of December, the first couple of days of January, you probably see that continuation. Though I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a sell-off here for some early profit taking into 2020, as the big boys like to cushion their percentage wins on the year. They're already up quite a bit. Might as well cash in. So they look awesome. Anyway, so here is the pre-market. Here's the pop out of the open on Tesla. This one I was watching. Also, it's just been an absolute massive uptrend. So, this is the first day we're getting candle over candle. It was in play. It was just in play. A lot of things going for it. It was in play. So we got this pop, pullback candle, and then I was watching and waiting like a so. So we had the pop. There's the high of the pop, the overall pop, even though it took two candles to do it. But here's our pullback candle, the first candle that does not make a new high. And then candle over candle, the first candle to break the high of the last pullback candle. So we were inside this guy right here. When it looked like it was about to break, I went long. I took calls on this just because it's an expensive stock, and that's the only way for me really to play it. Took 20 calls at 596. It popped up. I sold half at 642 for about almost 50-cent win there. Just shy of 50 cents. So up $500, almost 460, whatever it is. Yeah, up 460 on that first lot. Sold another quarter at 561, all within the same, I did, let's see. Yeah, as it was looking like it was struggling with the whole dollar, you can kind of see 934 is right here. This whole dollar resistance. I sold another lot, another quarter at 651, and then as it was coming back down for the candle under candle, giving it all back from the secondary pop, I just sold the rest for actually a very small loss. My entry was 596. The last quarter was a loss from 585, basically break even, right? So very good trade overall to start the day. Long Tesla, looking for that 1 minute candle over candle. There it goes. There's high day.
Just sitting tight
Selling
right now.
half plus 50.
My best exit on SCS was $11.12. And then in the big account, I stopped out at 9.75 and 9.40, so lost like $1 a share there.
Tesla also got an upgrade, a Bard for price target of 515. So two good things going for them today.
So stop orders. That's the biggest risk, is that you get that slippage. And that happens with real money. That's why I don't use buy stops.
Still another quarter of Tesla, plus 60.
Yeah, you could use a buy stop limit. You could use a limit, but then you most likely just won't get filled.
All out. The rest, what did I get the rest out at? Actually, I lost a little bit on the rest, but overall, plus 659. So the second trade here is Tesla again. It is this play right here. Again, options, so it's kind of, you know, hard to see my entries, but uh, the main thing is the setup. You can play it with a stock, you play with options. I'm just day trading it, so decay doesn't really factor into my plays here. So anyway, why was this in play again? So we kind of just had this kind of rejection of this level, candle under candle. It's still kind of flagging, is what I was thinking. And maybe if it broke this or got another shot to break out over 428, we'd see 430. So it was in play. It didn't really let go of these moving averages. This orange one is the 9 EMA, this one is the 21 EMA, and this is the VWAP. We did do a candle under candle here, but just hit the VWAP and bounced again. So it didn't, even though it rejected this 428 pretty hard, it still came to the VWAP and bounced off of it. So I was going to give it a shot for another candle over candle play. So call it up, the pop, pullback, and then candle over candle entry right here at 427. And it worked, right? It got a pop, and you'll see the price action slow down. It'll move pretty fastly up to here. Top of the Bollinger Band too. Should have been paying more attention, I guess. Kind of stutters. It kind of just holds this area for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and that should have been my cue to just take profits and just wait for another setup, because what you can kind of see here is it just kind of rejected it or came back down anyway inside the candle that I sold it in. But yeah, a lot of times these stocks, when they go up, if you're playing it to the long side, think of about, if you threw a ball straight into the air, it flies up high really fast to start off with, but then it eventually slows down until it reverses course and comes back down. And at that apex point, that's kind of what happened here, and you can kind of see it. Like a rocket ship to here, slows down, then, and I kind of got caught in the wash. I basically lost. I only took 10 contracts on this one, so lost about $90 on the trade.
SES.
Long.
Still have on watch up here.
Nope. Out. -9. So this next place is on play is on SES, and this one is a little bit more advanced, I'd say. Just kind of, you're playing a reversal in this setup here. You won't hear me talk about this trade or the lead up to it. You'll just, when I play, you'll just see me go along, and you'll actually hear Ross from Warrior Trading play the exact same thing. When I was watching this one had news out, big pop. It's a big mover in the past. It can really move. Out of the gates, it did pop up to 1150, then sold off. Did this candle over candle, the VWAP rejected, back to the VWAP, and rejected that move, candle under candle. But this is kind of where it got interesting, because it went candle under candle, did not fall off the face of the earth here after rejecting the VWAP twice. It put in kind of a kind of like a setup to go long here, and it was on this candle that myself and actually Warrior Trading went long on, and I flipped to it a little late and hit the buy button as soon as I could, and I got filled at 670 basically, pretty bad fill. I took 2,000 shares, pops up almost to 10, right? That should be 600 bucks all day long, 30 cents. And I hit the sell button and I get filled at 973 or 72. So it was just for this one, I wasn't looking for a, break to the highs again. I'm just looking for a break of a whole dollar. If I'm lucky, definitely in the VWAP sell. It was just a quick in and out off of a reversal setup. So we have this pop, candle under candle, candle under candle that closes near its highs, setting up for maybe a potential candle over candle setup. We get that pop, selling to profit. Unfortunately, I didn't make a ton on it. It's still green. It did move up again later on, but this was the play.
I'm long SES here. I'm going to just take a quick breakout
Yep.
and add over 990. Just added at 980 for the break of 990. I'm just looking for that quick rip through $10.
So this one on Tesla is where I lost like 400 bucks. So looking again, still looking for this breakout over 428. It was kind of just flagging sideways here. This kind of all just sideways. Just these lows are still, moving upwards, sort of like that. So, it was still in play for me. And here we had a pop, call it a pullback candle, and inside this candle, this next one that looks terrible now, but at the time I was thinking, all right, pop, pullback candle, candle over candle, and we'll get a pop moving through 428. I went long as it was happening right here. We did get the pop, but it again just rejected this level that it was rejecting all day. As it came back down and went, instead of going candle over candle, now we went candle under candle. Just a complete rejection of the overall move. I bailed for a $400 loss, and it was a smart decision because after that, you can kind of see this level being violated, and it did collapse until about an hour later. So then it recovered, and now we're at highs a day, which I did play later. But that's just kind of where a trade doesn't work, and this is where you can't become bag holders. If a setup doesn't do what you thought it was going to do, I have to let them go and move on and find the next one, because then more times than not I'm right, and it's only when I violate my rules of holding on to a trade that didn't do what I thought I was going to do I end up really kind of getting hurt. And that was all of basically 2019. So trying to start off 2020 on a better foot.
It's got to break through 10 though, so let's see what it does here. My ad spot would be at 10. Stopped out for now at 950. I'll leave my order at 10 to get back in. Added a little bit of profit on that trade, but not much. Kind of grinding. So you can.
So this next trade is SES, and I was a little late to this trade, so my entry kind of sucked, and I wasn't too happy about it. A little FOMO got to me. So what we saw here, and you'll hear kind of Warrior Trading again playing it as well, as they should. It's the low float of the day. This thing is the one that's kind of actually has actually moved. The other one's just sold off. So anyway, had this pop to VWAP, pull back, candle over candle. The perfect entry would have been, let's zoom in a little bit better. So sideways, whatever. There's that reversal play, pop, pull back, candle over candle, right? The perfect entry would have been, right here, the break of this candle. So around call it 950. I get a little FOMO. I chase, get in at 982, which happens to be just right at the VWAP. And my thought process was, if we could break this high, we'll get a little continuation, maybe up to this level here, this kind of horizontal resistance, maybe top of the Bollinger Band if we're lucky. So I chased, got kind of stuck in it. 1 minute later, we get a wick down, and I'm like, oh, it's not doing what I thought I was going to do. I got FOMO. I chased 30 cents higher. So I start to scale out, and you'll see I sold half at 9.55, thinking we're about to go candle under candle after a VWAP rejection. So that's usually a short sign. But as I sold it, so that's minus like 30-ish, right? On the first lot. Then I finally do get that move, the break of this point here that I was looking for. It does spike up into this range, this horizontal resistance. You can kind of see it right here from pre-market, top of the Bollinger Band. I thought it might crack 1050 before it moved, but it did not. And I was just happy to sell as it moved up. I sold at 1016 just as soon as I saw this pop. It was a big volume pop. And then after that, it did reject and head down back to support. But basically, overall, a break-even trade.
I added back on SES here for the break over 10. I'm going to put my order at 1001 to add again. But I'm thinking it's going to break over 10, and then we'll get a rip up to 1050. So let's watch this over the 90s, high 80s, 90s.
89.
Just added at 89. This one just kind of keeps accumulating here along these levels, so just looking for it to break over 10. Then the target would be 1050, and maybe we see this rip up through the high a day. That would be 1150. That would be a pretty big move, but it's possible. So we've got that rip there.
SES break of 10 there. All right, so this next trade is a news play. AUPH, a stock that I've been watching and playing recently because it had a pretty big move with some news. It's kind of been going up ever since, so it's on my radar. The news was that they were attracting bidders for a buyout. So when I hear that, I go long. I get over here to the stock immediately. I go long. I also see that we have a pop, pullback, and then candle over candle. So that also helps. So go long at 2019, sell half at 20 for $20, win. Sold the rest all inside this pop here at 2026. So what is that? $20 there and then $70 there. So $90 trade. It could have been a lot more, but when I was watching this, it kind of stalled here, and I was just like, "Is this going to stall at the VWAP? Let's just bail, get out." It ended up selling off completely, going sideways, and then the move came. So it's kind of a weird one. So again, though, another example of when a stock doesn't do what you thought it would do, cut it loose, move on. Because I could have easily gotten caught in this wash, and then would have hated life and probably would have bailed down there for a loss. So nice little win. The bigger move came later on, but whatever. I don't care about that.
AUPH, Aurinia Pharmaceuticals. Financial Times deal reporter says takeover being looked at by larger pharma competitors.
AUPH takeout rumors.
That takeover rumor from deal reporter, Alpha Uniform Papa Hotel.
So this is a quick way to lose $300 and then absolutely hate the fact that you stopped out because it didn't run. So anyway, this is Tesla again. Downtrend, drop, pop, drop further, pop. And then what I saw here is that the candle under candle did not drop again to new lows. And that would indicate a potential reversal setup. So, just the same way as, you pop, pull back, candle over candle, pop, pull back, candle over candle that I would do. You do the same thing. Drop, bounce, candle under candle. Continue drop, bounce, candle under candle. And when that candle under candle happens, you expect it to take out the previous low. Did not do that here. Or here, I should say. So I was looking at it kind of like this. can't see because these stupid arrows in the way, but it did go candle under candle here and pop right back up, close near the highs. So I was going to play the next candlestick, and you'll see it looks a lot better than this when it goes live, to go candle over candle for potential reversal setup. Again, my thesis is Tesla, huge upgrade. It's a long today. Any chance I can take to the long side. Well, it goes candle over candle. I go long 10 contracts out of the money because I didn't want to really get burned if it went against me. Get the candle over candle, doesn't do anything, immediately reverses, or candle over candle, doesn't do anything, immediately reverses, and then breaks this low, and that's my stop loss. When it did that, I stopped out minus 30, so minus $300. Then it immediately reversed from there, and huge move up. Don't know why, don't really care. Didn't do what I thought it was due, cut it loose, move on. But just kind of a little slightly frustrating trade. But, who cares, right? In the grand scheme of things, I have to stick to my rules. When I do, I win.
They seem to have some serious problems going on here, gang. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee, and I will circulate back. Sounds like Nate Bear's not in just yet, but
I look at
sure
unrealized, so I'll take a starter here of
steering
Archon
wheel.
at
I know
91.
Nate uses TD Ameritrade too.
I
He does a lot
look
of his
at
orders
unrealized
through,
profit. I just
TOS.
usually am
I just
focusing
don't. I use,
on trying to
I use TD for
trying to
everything,
capture
so
the
I'm
most
not
of
going
the
to toy
moves I
around with trying
can.
to figure that out
So I'm
right
gonna put an
now.
order at
When they
310
get their
on
systems
Archon
organized and
to
running
add. It would
efficiently.
need to
So after we get that reversal here on Tesla, it did pop up to the VWAP. A lot of times when the stock gets below the VWAP a good bit, it comes up to it, it's going to reject it the first time. Well, here it did go candle under candle and pulled back, creating a pullback candle. Hit these moving averages, which is the 9 on the orange and the 21 EMAs here on the 1 minute chart. Bounced right off them, came up, and I was going to play the next candle over candle. So pop, pullback candle. We only get one. These pullback candles could be 1 candle, 2 candle, 3, whatever. In this case, it was just 1, and then I played the next candle over candle. In this case, it was the break of the VWAP. It was the candle over candle. It was the break of this peak over here. So, all 3 things kind of lining up for a nice little pop. I kind of played it a little wrong here because I took so far out of the money on calls. If I was paying better attention or felt confident on it, I would have probably taken the 425s or maybe a little deeper in the money just to maximize my profit. But nonetheless, the trade's the same. Now, you can play with stock, you play with it options, it doesn't matter. Pop, pullback, candle over candle, entry right here. I bought 40 contracts at 10.03. So 10.03 is this candlestick right here. We get that pop. I sold half, locking in profit, sold half at 5.03. So bottom at 479-ish, sold half of them at 5.03. So that's 25 cents profit. Actually, I think it's first in, first out for me. So it's 478 to 503. A nice, 25 cents on 20 contracts. It's $500. Locked in my profit. I sold because it was at the top of the Bollinger Band on the 1 minute. It continues to kind of grind up here, and I sell another quarter at 532. Still inside this candlestick here, kind of like that. And then I sold 5 more at 583 a few minutes later up here, because we're going to get kind of getting up into the weeds again, right? So just using some horizontal resistance. Sold as it was up in this area. Whole dollar as well. Sold 5 more. So I'm holding 5 right now. It does a little bit of a pullback, but you can kind of see the pullback came right back up to this 427 level. 1, 2, 3 times, right? And I'm thinking, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We had a pullback candle under candle. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. It's going to break this, go high today. So I actually buy more, this time further out of the money, just in case it did not work, because this 427 was acting as some pretty big resistance. It didn't work right away when I went long. Let's see, it's a 1010 candle. That's this one right here. So I ended up selling basically 8 seconds later for 14 cent loss, 15 cent loss there, $150.
and then my last lot of 5. After you had the pop, pullback, and this kind of failed break of the candle over candle 2-3 times. A lot of times you'll see it flush to the downside if you get a candle under candle, and that's kind of what happened there. And I had 5 more contracts that I ended up just kind of dumping. I think this is break even from my original entry from earlier on those lot. But overall, it was about a $1,400 win, or $1,350 I think. Got me nice and green from the morning where I was up over 600 and then gave all back but $60, and then this trade happened. So it was a good trade.
WORK Slack, the information out with an article. Will Slack be acquired? That's WORK. Why Slack will be acquired? That's from the information. Why Slack will be acquired? WORK.
Out half plus 22. Got another half plus 51, 53.
Secretary Esper says, has not seen sufficient action from Iraq to address Iranian-backed groups and need to do more to hold
And this last lot,
perpetrators of attacks on U.S. forces to account.
Yeah. It's a pretty big upgrade too. It's a second upgrade into the 500s for this stock. And the other one, I think it was Wells Fargo, if I'm not mistaken.
WRK
was like,
Slack.
Theirs was best case scenario
article
upgrade. So this one was a
2302
pure
up
upgrade from what I
2.3%
read.
now.
a little bit more. I only have 5 contracts left. This last lot I sold for. Is this it? Nope.
What I'm looking at is a rip through the high day of
I'll break you on the rest lot of my Tesla calls. Overall in the trade, up $1,400.
So this next play is on Roku. This is a news play. News comes out that from Morgan Stanley that AT&T dropped support for their smart Roku boxes, TVs, whatever. I don't even know. I don't own it. A TV with Roku in it, whatever. But I just know that that's potentially bad for Roku, right? So I go short when I hear it. I took puts, just a day trade, and just took it was at 134, I believe, when I heard the news. So I took the 133s. Stock hadn't moved much, so I just kind of assumed that the IV wasn't spiked at all. E-Trade is pretty terrible for day trading options. If you're just flipping to it to give you quick information, there's just no easy way to find quick information on like news plays or something. Anyway, it did drop down. It just kind of hovered here, and I thought that if it was really that terrible news, it would just continue dropping down to 133 and maybe further. It just didn't, and when it looked like it was going to reverse on me, I just ended up covering for basically a 10-cent win on 20 contracts are about $200. And you got to see this is a smart call because ever since then, it's back towards the higher days and broke higher days. So apparently the news wasn't that terrible.
Pivot over 960 maybe?
Coming from Morgan Stanley, Roku, ROKU report out that AT&T has dropped Roku, AT&T TV, and now ended their support for Roku players and Roku TVs. That's circulating now. Comments from Morgan Stanley.
Roku got dropped by AT&T. I'm buying some puts here. I bought the 133 puts for $1.73.
Shares of Roku just off the lows now, just at the lows, 133.68, down 20 cents. Again, report that AT&T has dropped.
Curling back up
Roku.
again.
Selling half at plus 10.
Roku TVs.
I'll sell it all.
Nice break of VWAP there.
Second lot plus 9. I'm going to take it now. 973. Jeez. I was trying to get VWAP. That didn't work out too hot. Looking for the 1 minute candle over candle on SES. Over 87. Nope, out. 950 or 949.
So this next trade was a failed. Well, it didn't break out, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So, looking at this chart, you just probably don't see anything, right? Well, I've been watching a very obvious trend line to me anyway. This whole morning, set up from the pre-market, made this peak, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? All in this descending resistance line. And I actually had this trade right, but I just wasn't a little patient enough to wait for the better entry. Anyway, when it came up to here, as you can kind of see, the last time it came into this resistance line, it hit it, sold off hard, right? This time it was a little different. It hit it, pulled back gently, even did a candle under candle, didn't do anything, and the better entry would have been right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. The better entry would have been right here. So you had this pop to resistance, 4 minutes of pullback, candle over candle would have been right here, breaking 960, go long for that. And then that would lead you up again to maybe a test of this resistance line. If it breaks it there, you've got the resistance line, you've got a whole dollar break, and then, potential big mover. Well, I think I play this back to back, so we'll go over all of them. So the first time I went long was, let's see, 1026. So, oh yeah, okay. I bought the VWAP is what I was trying to do. The VWAP sitting right there. I go long. I get an absolute terrible fill. The price I thought was right around 950. I get filled at 974. Then it just starts to go below VWAP. I'm getting kind of worried because my fill is so terrible. I stop out minus like 24. Like, what was that? $408. Really ugly. Not too happy you lost. Then I play the one that I wanted, which is pop, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. See how these are not making new high or not making a high yet? So these are all pullbacks. And then finally we got a break of the previous pullback candle. So I would go long right there where I wanted to, 958. Go long, it gets candle over candle, moves up, hits this level, this big resistance line. It breaks it, big old pop up to horizontal resistance. I sell half at 1026, just taking some profit in on the way up. There's just no rhyme or reason. I just hit a market sell. And the remainder I sold at 1059, which, I was just looking for a $0.50 break, sell up there. I wasn't looking for high day, which it actually ended up doing. It looks like, no, high day was up there. So the last resistance level would have been 11 for sure. But really happy for a really nice move. I sold 500, so actually I had more. Oh, yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to hold 500. Break even is going to be my stop loss. After I saw this kind of move coming back down, what is it, 936? Let's see. 36. I was like, you know what? Let's not be stupid. Let's just stop out. Profit stop, on the rest. Plus 30 on 500 there. So overall, real nice trade. Took a little bit. Again, it's completely against my nature to buy a stock as it's going down. And I have a real hard time buying support and waiting and seeing if it works out. I do a lot better when I see that a pullback has happened and now I can go candle over candle. This is my typical entry. Buying here at VWAP is not my typical entry. But anyway, it worked out. Nice trade.
Long, 958. Nope. Oh. 5 minutes, starting to set up on this. So 5 minutes is 987.
Halt level on SCS is at 1047. I'm going to take a starter on SCS
Sharon's
here.
pumping SCS now.
What I'm kind of looking at here is
5 minute,
it's held
8
above
over
the
97. There's
so
the 5 minute play. There's the break.
Right here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So now I want to see if it goes into a halt. I'm still
Broke that
holding
level
it
at
because
10 that I was holding,
this
or that I was watching.
over 1050. Watch up here around 1040, 1050, because if it starts to open up and it holds these levels, then we are back up over 11.
There we go. There we go.
So I'm going to put an order on this at 10.
Sold half at 1026.
I'll put an order at 11. So this one took a couple tries before it finally opened up. The high is 1080. So now, let's just see what this does for a second.
A lot of buyers coming in here.
My order's ready to get back in. I'm back in here, just added for the rip now up to 11. Halt
Selling
level is at
more.
1102.
1059.
$10.49.
A lot of selling. I'm out. 984.
That's the level that needs to break.
And that's how I finished the first hour of trading. Up, was it $2,900 or $2,396? Whatever it was, you'll see it. Currently, I'm up. Let's see if I can show you. There it is, right there. Nope, you still can't see. There we go. Up $2,710 on the day. I'll be done for the day at this point, unless Tesla gives me something. It's kind of just what I'm watching right now. If you have any questions on my trading style, please feel free to ask. You can leave a comment down below, or a better way to get a hold of me is come into my free Discord chat room, where I announce my trade ideas live on microphone every day. A lot of great traders in there. If you're brand new to trading and you want to learn and you have a lot of questions, please come in. This is why this trading room exists, is to help new traders as well as help just to build a better trading community. But that is it for now. I will see you guys in the next video, and Happy New Year.